Good evening to ya. Oh, that's run out pretty abruptly. Oh, there's more. Hello, Micro Man. ZZ Top. Is it Z or Z? Of course I say ZZ Top. Buongiorno, Specky Nut. Hello, my friend. Right, we're going to be adding some random stuff to the game today. Hopefully it will be fun. We'll have to wait and see on that. I've been saying it all week, but I am still a little bit tired, so I'm going to try and keep this down to a couple of hours. Yo, thank you very much, Specky Nut. Wow, straight in there with the bits. That's really nice of you, man. Thank you ever so much. Where did we leave it? If I remember right, we left it with just getting the buttons working, the selector on the buttons. But it didn't do anything. There we go. And we can use that blank one. I thought of a way of getting it so you can't use that blank one, but I think I'll just keep the space there and put like, maybe you want to switch, skip this. There's going to be 4 players, so maybe you want to skip this guy's turn or something. For yesterday's awesomeness, thanks, man. I wouldn't have been able to do it without Emook, but we got there eventually, didn't we? It's looking really good now, the fight, though, isn't it? Look at that. This button here is going to be called skip, I think, and then we'll add like 4 characters. But I really need to do some drawing. I've got a day off tomorrow, so I might do that in a day, depending on what other stuff I've got to do. So let's get these buttons working. Perhaps we'll initiate or implement, I should say, the run. I think run it'll give you a high chance of getting out of a battle, and it'll probably be based on the enemy's level, the chance of him stopping you running. Or we could go in a completely different direction and just create the inventory screen, which is different from, it's nothing to do with the fight. So there's 2 things we could do. We haven't actually got an end fight yet. So we haven't successfully gone back into the world yet from a fight. How would I want to do that? The game class itself here doesn't care what state we're in. This is like the highest level game updating code, if that makes sense. And initialization, update, draw. But once we get down into each of these, they actually all care whether they're in fight or level. And so we should be able to just change that back to level. And it should just start calling this one instead. How did we turn the tile map off? Forgot. Probably in tiled world. Probably in start fight. Clear view. So yeah, we just call, I remember now, we call this. So for now, let's just make one called exit fight. And let's just have the run button instantly exit us every time. So let's just double check, what does this fight do? It changes the state to fight, it clears the view, and it draws the fight view. Then it calls the 2 initializers in the 2 relevant player and NPCs. We probably don't even need to worry about doing that at the end. Could be quite a lot more simple, I hope. Don't need the CP. And that's wrong. We just need level. And then put it into there, not that. Okay. So that sets the state back to where I want it to be. We'll call tiled world draw view. Let's try that. So I think I'll do the button stuff in the UI script. Seems to make sense. So we'll have like button pressed. And then we'll have one for each button, like. For now, let's just try and make it this simple. So we want to find a way of knowing what button we're on. And this is during the fight. I'm just having a look. Yeah. So this will be the perfect place to do it, I think. Oh, I've just missed your messages. I've moved them across past the edge of the screen. Adding the blank area as a barter. Okay. I never heard of barter, but I like the idea. Like give the enemy something to, instead of killing you, he can have a lager or something. I mean, we could have it as skip to next. Sometimes you do want to skip or rest. But I like that idea, yeah, negotiate. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard negotiating with a kebab monster, but he might want a lager. Might be all he needs. Might be a nice guy after 3 lagers. So if we press space, for now, that's going to be our button. Like I say every time, I'm hard coding the keyboard because I don't want to have to think about making that generic right now. So we'll have one called just button pressed, actually. Buttons pressed, like that. So I know that I'm looking at all the buttons. I don't know which button it is. Yet again, that's another crap name. Well, let's just call it spacebar pressed. And now we need to compare it, the selector's position. Unfortunately, we've got 2 columns, so there's like, you have to check 2 positions, don't you? So it's either this or this for X, one or the other. So I guess we can check if it's that. And then I think I will use a jump here. So if it is that, we know we're in the left column, yeah? I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but it's not hurting doing it this way. One day we will have a lot of fun finding much easier ways of doing these things. When I say easier, you know, less code. Negotiate to get items. Yeah, why not? Because hopefully there's enough scope in here to have like a dialogue system. Some characters that aren't there to kill you, maybe, or you don't have to kill, like you say. Maybe you can deal, like, yeah, get special items. I haven't even thought about making it into a fun game yet, if you know what I mean. I'm still in the mode of just practicing. And I mean, while I was at work today, I had a thought of wouldn't it be nice just to put this project aside and do like a Starbug space shooter? But A, I don't have the graphics, and B, we've done a space shooter. This is more complicated and could end up being a lot more fun. But if I had the graphics for that, I would have definitely done that today. So once we know we're in the left column, we'll check the Y, which is unfortunately slightly more complicated. We're not going to actually need a return here, or are we? If I don't put a return here, then I need to jump to that, I think. Here. But that'll be alright. It just means... Ooh. It means when it hits a return, it's going to think it's this return, you see. I think it will work, but I don't like doing it. It's how I've got myself in bother before. It feels like the right way to go here. Okay. This is where it's become a slight pain. I was talking about doing the offset yesterday, where I thought I was being clever, where I'm sure it is the right way of going about it. I've just specified the top left of the text boxes, basically, yeah? And I work from there. But now when we're checking the selector, we're going to have to go through and copy and paste each one. I hope that makes sense. So look, that's drink, for example. And we know that drink's on the right side, yeah? So what would... Is item? Which one's on the... This one's on the left, isn't it? At the bottom. Yeah, so attack, run, item on the left side. Oh. Okay. Because I jumped to it, I'll leave that return there even though it's not necessary. I forgot what they were. Attack. I should split it so I can see both. Buttons I'm looking for. Lost it. There we go. Attack, run, item. That'll do for now. I'm not sure whether run, and I'm just talking about the game Final Fantasy actually, I should have qualified when I said that. In the run, in that game, does it cost you anything? I think it doesn't. It just gives you a sort of 95% chance of running away. But the chance changes depending on who you're facing. For now, as you can see, if we press run, it's just going to call this. And then finally return. I'm going to put a comment on that return because we don't need it. Well, the thing is, if it's none of those, somehow, which we know it can't be that, but okay, so run should work now. Exit fight, I've forgotten where that's in tiled map. Trade Lister as a mate to the girls. We've got to do that. I reckon your next project should be a platformer. That does sound fun. Not done a lot of animation. Although I did do it, one of the first things I did on the next, I'd done some animation. But we can definitely do that. Yeah, sounds fun. I mean, I found a way of not even using them IX. You can use HL for the tables if you really want to. But of course, you need to use HL for the addition, so it makes it more complicated sometimes. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a bloody good idea. So we'll do that once we've seen this working. That health thing I was talking about. Right, we're back, but the UI is still being drawn. We don't want that. I don't know if I ever figured out how to. Oh, you got to do a space over all of it. Ugh, it's going to be horrible. I could turn off that layer, I guess, but it's probably better to be able to just delete every character, isn't it? How did we delete? There we go. Here's where we delete the selector. I mean, in theory, we could just go through every character cell and put a space in, couldn't we? Good evening, Moz, my man. LDIR would be a good idea, except for it increases DE, and I want it to be the same every time, and I've found that I can't do it with LDIR. I would love to know how to do that, but if I put that there, look. So BC is going to get decreased, and then HL and DE both get inked. But what I want is just HL to be inked. Notice that I can use numeric coordinates. I'm not using a memory address there. I'm not going to bother with LDIR because I don't know. I'd love to know how to do it, like I say, but I'm sure there is one that does it without increasing DE. Or if not, you can probably push and pop somehow or something. Oh, hi, I'm LDI. Okay. So look at that then. I'm just going to look it up on Z80 because that normally helps me when I see it on that documentation. I knew that. I thought I had done it one time when I was really on fire, you know, and in the mood. I thought I'd managed that, but Just waiting an eternity while my website my web browser loads. Yeah, or any. I don't care if DE does stay the same, as long as another register does. Could I use A? I guess. Yeah, because basically I want to put a space into every cell, one by one. That's what I actually want to do. Yeah, unfortunately LD isn't going to do it for us. LDI, I mean, sorry. Not without some sort of trickery. No biggie. I can write a loop. So I'm not doing it with memory here, unfortunately. So I can't just look at the top of the. Normally I just put like compare OX60 and exit. There's another Moz around. Another specky Moz. Yeah, I do want DE to stay the same. Let's write a loop. I'm getting my head space wrecked again, reading documents. I want to put. I think I can just put 0 there. Am I muted? I don't think so. Yeah. I'm probably just mumbling and talking rubbish, so your brain's probably just filtering me out. Notice that I got the transparency done around the emote there. I think it's layer 2 we're using for the font. It's the same one we used for that bitmap, I believe. How would you check that? I could show you in the code if you'd like. Wait there, I'll get the loop done first, and then if not, we can change it, can't we? Yeah, all I want to do is clear the screen, to be honest. All the characters off the screen. And like I say, I'm 99% sure it is layer 2. Yeah, text characters, sorry. I'm going to roll smoke quickly anyway, we'll have a quick think. I mean, the loop's there as a backup. I could loop through and just do this 768 times, whatever it is. Ah, no, I couldn't do that. I'd have to do two, like a nested loop, because I'd have to go 32 and then go, because this actually wants YX. I could definitely write a little loop to do it. But I'm sure there's probably some pre-built thing. I'll be right back. I've just got to pop downstairs for a second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so maybe we can just delve straight in at the memory. See how this prints it. Layer 2 access port. Specky Mo. It's a struggle to see what address it's actually. That's just selecting the port. Very clever stuff. I'd hate to try and write that by myself. Oh my god. Be there forever doing that. Well, I guess I'm going to have to go down to caveman level as usual. What I really want to do is I need to increment H up to 32. And then I need to go down 1 on L and do the same thing with H. Over and over again until L is 23. And then H gets to 31. Okay. I think I can just load DE there. Break out the club, you know it. It's got to be done, hasn't it? Just hack it in. I do love that emote. So yeah, I want to call display string. I'm going to put the space in the first one. I want to ink H. Ah, H is Y though, isn't it? Ink L then. So that should do one line. Maybe I need to push DE. That's what I was thinking of to try and do, but I'd have to read through the docs. I don't know, because it's just layer two. It's just layer 2, isn't it? It's what's it called? There's layer orders. We could just change the layer in order. But the thing with that is, I feel that that's a bit of a messy solution. I'd rather be able to clear the screen. Because it's done in here. Where is it? Might have even been here. It could be one of them. Had the layer order. Emu's got the solution. Oh, paste bin. Oh, I missed that as well. Thank you for pointing that out. I missed that message. Okay, I'm browsing this now. Copy it in. Looks bloody good. To be honest, it actually looks fairly similar to how I was about to do it in a different way, but similar idea, I think. Where was mine? Well, there's mine. I'll just comment that out. The colour to clear. So transparent would be black for that, wouldn't it? Because we said it's a black for that layer too. Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you. I've forgotten where I actually want to call this from now. Oh, just from exit byte, which is in here actually. Nice one. Let's try it out. That saves me spending half the bloody video making a stupid loop that everyone's seen before. Oh, perfect. Look at that. I wonder if it goes back in. Ah, it's still cleared. I actually expected that to repaint or redraw, I should say. Ah, of course. I hacked in this silly because I couldn't be bothered to make a proper init. Well, it wasn't I couldn't be bothered to make a proper init routine. I did write one, but to get it to call, it crashed, and I hacked it into the update loop, so it has a bool to say if it's been initialized or not, and I forgot to reset that. Oh really? Okay, we'll try that in a minute. But to fix this problem, we'll go back. We don't even need to go back. We can do it from inside UI. Where we call exit, we also set to false init done. Very hacky, but you know, it works. So who cares? That should now work. Ah, but it reinitialized. Maybe turning off the layer is the way to go. What's happening there is it's going in the update loop, and it's because it's false again, it's doing all this straight away. I would have thought because I'd done exit fight first. Look, that wouldn't have happened. It shouldn't be able to. That it should only call that if if that state is fight. Just as a double check, we'll set fight. We'll set it to level again here as well. I really fail to see how it manages to get to here again, because it can't get past there really. Huh. We could end up having the same problem even if we turn it off, because we've obviously got to turn it back on. So I've still got to come up with a way of. Right, this here should only happen one time because of this. But if you look, once we've exited the fight and set this back to level, it shouldn't be able to get back there again, but it seems to be. So I'll check it. So I have the clear. Yeah, that's it. I agree. That's why I was trying to get that working, and then I would have tried the turning it off solution. The next reg thing would, yeah, but the thing I'm doing here is the clear screen. But it's very, very odd. I don't have a clue how it's getting here. So we should get one time the breakpoint when we enter the fight, and then we should never see it again. And there you go, it's called again. How does it get there? I reckon it's the bloody jumps. Let's try just that one as a call. I don't think that's the solution, but I just want to see what it does. It's nothing really different. Hmm. Maybe that's what it is, but well, no, I'm 100% sure it's reaching here again somehow and just redrawing everything. But it shouldn't be able to. There should be two things to stop that. But as soon as I set that back to false, it was able to get through, even though this was set to screen level. Just double checking that. Yeah, screen level, screen state. And that's after we do the clear. I mean before, sorry. So odd. I do have a feeling it's something to do with them jumps. I reckon if I can just write it properly so that they call, it might be enough to work. I hope it. I doubt it now. I've got some doubts, but all right. So it gets to here. It's like a normal loop now. A normal function. If not, I'll try to clear one, but I still will have that same problem, I think. Ah, stupid. I mean, how? Doesn't make sense. I don't need that breakpoint right now. You know if it's in there because it gets redrawn, the text. Nah, annoying. This is obviously not something I want to do, but it's a test. So if it's level, we just want to call clear screen every frame. Whoa! Slow motion. At least it clears it. Bullet time, yeah. I'm gonna try just putting return Z there. Whoa! Oh, the push pop. Yeah, my bad. Thankfully, that was all it was. Okay, what the heck? This shouldn't be able to get called. Getting the caveman club out. Yeah, that was a definite, like a stupid mistake. That push pop thing. A bit. That was similar to the same one last night where I forgot to add the push pop. Ah, I fail to see how it can get to there. I really do. Type of tea and toast. There's exit fight. Positions. Uh, good point. No, I'm not. That's another. I would have thought that could be separate. It's 420. That's good times. Uh, is that to do with it, do you reckon, Emook? I should take a copy of the positions before I move them. I can't tell if that's linked to what's happening with the UI. So obviously I could do what you just said, but I might forget about the UI. But here's where when we start the fight, we set a different position, don't we, here? So of course I could just remember the position here. Could be for one loop still reading the position. Ah, I see. Yeah, that's actually something I hadn't considered. So it's somehow setting that state back to be fight. I get you. I hadn't thought of that. I actually don't think that's the case because we actually move them away from each other. Thanks anyway, man. Nice one. How I'm going to check that is put a breakpoint into the collide player here. So now we should definitely only get this one time. Yeah, so it's not that. Most odd. Hmm. I mean, it simply must be setting this current state into the fight state, surely. It must be. If I put a breakpoint here, so level is 0 and fight is 1. Okay, that should be the only breakpoint. Problem is, it's going to happen all the time, isn't it? Yeah. I'll put it there, below the return Z. Yeah, just one breakpoint. Right, so that worked correctly. And this is still working correctly. Darn it, I can't move. I can't move the... no way of moving it down. Tried quite a few buttons. God, it would tell me quite a lot if I could just exit out of the fight and see if it was still calling this. So A is 1. Yeah, I'm stepping, but I can't move the cursor we created. This one, the attack. I can't get it down to run, no matter what I press. Oh, thanks for telling me, Specky. I didn't notice. That was where I was button mashing. I was mashing some buttons trying to let me move. Oh, I've just introduced an error. Oh, there's no comma there. Yeah. Audio issues. I forgot. So if it somehow gets to here, and it's not in fight, then this will get called. So this should never happen now. Oh, it got called. Just one time though. Right. Maybe that is a clue. So when we... Maybe we can just put it in here as well then. I can't see why it would be needed, but... So if it's not fight, is return. UI fight update. Where's that? Oh, there. Okay. In that case, let's put that right at the top. May as well just call that, to be honest now. Really badly named stuff. Man, it still redraws. It simply must be fight. I think that'll be unchanged. Oh, it worked. That's happened to me so many times where I say, oh, I don't think that'll do it. And it does. So that works, finally. And that was just done by making sure these... It's impossible for my brain to figure out how that worked. I think what fixed it was when I moved update from in here into there. And I'm pretty sure that's what fixed it, but God knows why. Yeah, sorted. I'll take it. We'll take it. Can't complain. Can get on with it now. I think I'll leave that clear in the screen. It was next reg. Whoa, thanks Becky Nut. 1 bit. Sweet legend, mate. I've just noticed it's going through my TV because my sound card turned off. Turn it down a bit. What was I about? Small but sweet. Yeah, I agree completely. Thank you, man. That is awesome. I forgot what I was doing now. Oh yeah, I was looking up to see what that next reg one was. Next reg 69. Nice. Okay. Let's put a note to that effect for now. Nice. Okay. We're using Emook's clear layer there. For me, I think that can just go into the tools file. Nice. Shut my window, it's getting freezing there. It's a pity bit. Hey, can't turn down pity bits. You got to take a long, deep look at yourself if you turn your nose up at pity bits. It's thrown me off completely though. That I'm not sure what to do next. We were gonna add health to him, weren't we? If you run away, just as a little test. Although annoyingly, look, he's on 255 health already. Eking out the funds. Yeah, I'm completely happy to stream without receiving them though. Definitely don't feel like you need to do that. I mean, I'm very happy when people subscribe to the channel. I think that'll help the channel grow. You know, I wouldn't ask anyone to do that, but I'm much appreciative of it. What do we want to do next? Let's put him down to 200 health. This guy. At the moment he's 255. That's the maximum. Oh, look at that there. Why is he? He shouldn't be 255. Oh, I remember. I put that in there as a test. Sure I did. No. Let's just look for the number 255. Here we go. Have they? Yeah, that's good. I'd love to see that, Specky. Are you doing it on the next, yeah? Yeah, I'll have to make sure it doesn't go over. Let's just make sure it shows the right amount of health. It looks good. He's 30 health. Perfect. So what we're working with a copy here of them values. So we need to remember. Oh goodness me, where's here? Yeah, we need to remember that we're working with a copy of it. It's also not going to be done in tiled world. This is fine for tiled world. I think that should go back into the UI. Let me just test that out back there where I had it to start with. Yep, all good. So I'm happy with the cursor just staying wherever we left it. Yeah, that's fine, I think. Rock, paper, scissors. Sounds good. What do you mean by experiment? What are you going to get them to do? See which one is best out of rock, paper, or scissors. Literally find out by machine learning. Do you know what? I nearly bought myself a new computer today, but they have gone up a lot since I last bought them. The graphics card alone was like nearly 500 quid, so I didn't do it. Good test. Never coded in M. ASM, do you mean? Oh, machine, maybe. Anyway, did I just test that? It did work, didn't it? Where it was. I think I'll just do it one more time. Yes. ASM, yeah. It is pretty good test of comparisons, isn't it? There's two types of animation, like I say, there's the movement of objects around on the screen, and then there's the animating keyframes, as I call it, where it's like the position doesn't change but the image does. Really, that I think the movement is actually more difficult than sort of flipping between different images, because obviously with the movement you've got to worry about, is it on the screen, how far does it move, all that sort of stuff. I've forgotten what else we need to do here. We set the initialization back to false. We call the exit byte routine. We want to add 10 health to the enemy. I think that's it for now, isn't it? I mean, luckily it's at the end of the routine anyway. So if it's more than 246, we just won't add anything. Well, in fact, we can probably add it and make it 255. But for now, we won't. Right, that's not good enough though. That just changes the copy. And actually, let's see if that works. We'll probably find that it doesn't even add that because it'll just get reset back. Started with Yahtzee, that must be pretty hard to do as well. Yeah, see, it's still 30, which is great. That's what I wanted it to be. So the reason is we need to set back in the IX, and I've forgotten how we got it. Oh yeah, we looked for each one and checked the slot ID, didn't we? Where is it? Get enemy texts, that's what I called it. It's a stupid name. Let's call it put enemy texts. Do the exact same thing in reverse. This bit here wasn't so necessary because we would have run into the one with the right slot. But imagine if you don't, you still want it to return. So we'll jump to the next until we find the one with the right slot. Cribbage Solitaire in Basic, that sounds clever. I really struggled, I've said it before, didn't I? Tried to make Pontoon, Blackjack, Poker of course I tried as well, but then I went to Blackjack and I just struggled all round. And that was when I wasn't, I wasn't a complete and utter novice. I had made some pretty detailed games, but when I tried to do it serious like that, with a game with proper rules and that I had to set it up properly, I just crumbled. I'd love to do that though, put it on, so that I'd love to create a fully working solitaire game, or Pontoon even, or something like that. For me, I got stuck just formulating a deck and shuffling it and that, and without it being a massive hard-coded mess. But I don't normally hard code like that, like in C# and stuff. I'm very abstract with my code. Too abstract. I wasn't specific enough. That's where I used to have problems. Anyway, so here we are at the correct registers. We can just literally do the same as this, but backwards. Trying to debate whether to copy paste or type it. No, I've changed my mind. Can't make my mind up. I love how powerful the next seems to be though. You probably saw my video where I put like 30 and then sprites on there. Didn't slow down for a second. After it's found the right one, we can just return out the loop. So now we should see that every time we run away it goes up by 10. I hope. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we've got something not working. Oh, of course, I never call this little bugger. Of course, we'll do this in the run because it's part of the UI really. We could have put it into we could have put this into various different files, like the NPC file or even the world file, maybe. So the enemy text is a really dumb name, but what it basically means is the values in the UI. So please be 40 now. Yay! Now it should be 50. Let's keep going. Let's not keep going. Let's go into here. Put it up to 230. Coward. I could try and put some Rimmer samples in. There's one where he becomes like, can't remember what they steal the emotion off him, don't they? And he becomes like a mega nerd. Like, right, so the only bug is that it doesn't go up anymore, whereas it actually has space for 5. So instead, let's make that a little bit better by instead of just returning here, we'll just set it to 255. It's a bit weird, but it just looks weird, that maxed word. It's got to have 2 X's surely. I mean, A already. Oh, it doesn't matter what A is pointing at, yeah. Let's try jump. Use jump. I don't see why we can't. I need to start getting back into using it properly. I'm sort of scared of jump at the moment now, but there's no need to be. 20-sided dice. This will fix it anyway. You see, if it's except for this bugger. Well, that's fine. Change it back to a cool. Did a push pop. Produce a carry. Send it to 100. I don't understand what you mean, sorry. The carry won't matter because I push and pop the flags here. So whatever the flags were, they'll be back to how they were. That includes the carry flag. Funnily enough, well no, I'm going to put both. I'm going to put that in there. I was going to say you probably could get away with only having that one, the load bit, one written once. But of course, I'm checking it there, so I want the same result of that when I get to here. And if I didn't push pop, yes, of course, the carry flag might have got affected and some other flags. I've ended up calling both. And then eventually it puts it in there. So let's see if that works. Okay, great. Or did it? Yeah, it did. So it should go up again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Hi, specking up. Isn't that a high bite? Saying to 255, isn't that a high bite? Yo, thanks, dude. A. I'm saying A to 255, yeah? Then I set this value here to 255 using A. Of course, I could have just put OXFF, like it's the maximum. Ah, no problem, mate. I get stupidly confused. I mean, I've never actually thought it was 254 before, but I always think it's 255. Of course, you've got to include 0. It's 256 is the actual amount of bits. Amount of, yeah, amount of bits. Or amount of values the bits can represent, the 8 bit. Leave it like a caveman. Hacking away, getting there in the end. Oh man, I need more toast. Does anybody want some toast? Why not? They put 255 there. It's a bit clearer. Oh, so we've successfully initiated or implemented a way to exit the fight, and we've actually added our first sort of penalty for running away. So the game's got a slight bit more interesting already. When we attack, what do we want to do? I mean, should I stick on the same vein for now? If I press attack, it just hurts him by 10, and then it's his turn, isn't it? That's where it's going to get tricky. AI, what does the AI could be super simple, like he just attacks every turn. I guess that's how we're going to have to start. We're getting into the realms of it being quite, it's quite tricky now for me. So we need to come up with a sort of turn. I mean, it could be done in the UI. I think this should just be called fight, to be honest, instead of UI. But hey. Now, I wanted to make some constants a list, so I didn't have to use numbers. But I don't want to just write player, It's going to have to be something stupid again. I mean, for now it's one-on-one, as you know. We said about that yesterday. Of course, just because you only have one enemy in this fight doesn't mean we can't then have still 4 of them that you've got to kill. Promotion. I've got promotion, but I prefer GIMP if I'm honest. You can use GIMP for animations. It's very good. I mean, it doesn't have like a preview thing. That's the only downside. But of course, it is all to do with preference. But I can create art in GIMP masses, many times faster. And I know that's just because I don't know the software. Oh, I use that online. It's very good. It's an online sprite editor, isn't it? But again, GIMP was much faster for me. Yeah, I've seen that one. I could probably use that if if I really wanted to. I could probably draw some stuff in GIMP and then pull it into another animation software. I don't know. I've been using GIMP so many years that it's just literally second nature to me. Nearly all the things, like just simple things like zooming and changing the pencil to the right settings and the grid and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that Rene Sharp one looks very good. Anyway, this is how I'm going to do it. Oh, that's annoying. I thought I'd find that. So when it's the player's turn, we want to check for the keys like this here. We still want to update though, most probably, when it's not our turn. That's not right. Right, so now all the input goes dead when it's not your turn. Load my own palettes in GIMP or in Reme. You can definitely do it in GIMP. I never needed to though. I don't know a lot about palettes, but all I know is if you only use 16 colours, the tools I've got between GIMP and Emooks tool will automatically just make a palette. I know that's not a real answer, but that's how I do it. The Remy, yeah, God knows. I still don't know how you put your own palettes into the. Well, I suppose we have done it here actually, haven't we? But I see you can use a palette offset, so you're meant to have like more than one palette, I guess, in the next. Rightio. So if I change it to not his turn, the whole game's going to lock up. There's no AI to say do anything. So that's how I'm going to lay it out. You have the buttons, and then any relevant routine for the button will be directly below that button. So these are going to be quite spread out by the end of it, because this is going to be a hefty routine when it's finished. Oh really? I would love to go and check out his stream. I mean, I've got on Facebook now, but it's not something I frequent very often. But it's finding the time. I should check him out on YouTube. I think I have subscribed to him now. Maybe he uploads them to YouTube afterwards. Oh wait, you say in your comment it's in YouTube. Okay, cool. I'll look out for him. Yeah, they're just actual experts. With me, I'm a caveman. I just know a couple of commands: call, load, push, and pop. Right, sod it. Let's get to work. So we want to be able to reduce his health, reduce the baddie's health. And we want to do that. Really, it doesn't want to be the same every time, does it? What does it want to do though? Um, this is where it gets complicated. This game. Jim Bexley. Do you know I've tried to make that game so many times, Micro. Tried so hard. I reckon I can manage it in Unity now. Now with what I've learned over the years since I last tried. Because at first I thought to myself, oh, zero G football, that'll be the best because I hate dealing with gravity. But you still have to deal with like physics, that's what I really didn't grasp at the time. It doesn't really matter whether it's zero G. But at the time I was like, hang on, gravity's getting on my nerves. But yeah, I failed miserably with the zero G. but it seems like a full-on doable game and super exciting. It'd be a bit like Rocket League, I guess, but totally different as well. I'm surprised there hasn't been like a really good game made by a big studio about that. I mean, I could just knock 10 health off him for now every time we attack. Let's just do that and then we can do his turn and he can do the same to us or something. This is getting to the realms now of where it might be the end of this project because it's getting to serious business now, writing like not just AI but also, you know, randomization and a big long formula of, well, what are my hit points, what are my health and how much damage am I going to do, you know. So if it's more than 10, we reduce it by 10. In fact, let's just do more than 11, then we don't need an extra routine later to find out when it's 0. Get rid of the word attempt. And if it's less than that, we'll kill the enemy. I mean, I constantly talk about abandoning this project, and I haven't done yet. But even if I do, they are still there to come back to. You know, it's just sometimes they get to the point where it is very hard to make any progress. Probably because of the way I've written the code. But we'll definitely have a crack at it, unless I get majorly stuck for like 2 or 3 days on the same thing. Then I'll carry on. So we want to decrease it. For some reason, it don't want to give me that one. Alright. We don't really need to put enemy texts unless we're going to exit the fight. That's only what stores it in the array. Yeah, it's very hard to do, isn't it, man? I love that idea though. I do. I wouldn't have a clue how to do it on a specky, but with Unity, I could probably have a crack at it. It would look all goofy, and you know, it wouldn't be like a professional game, but it would probably be a laugh to play. Um, yeah. So put enemy texts. That's really. It could almost go in the exit fight routine, really. Because it only wants to happen when we close the fight down. But we'll just bear that in mind for now. We don't need to call it here. But we do want it to update. I'm just trying to think of a painless way of doing it. I mean, we know we're just dealing with HP here. I guess we could label all of these separately so that we could jump to each one. Or just call each one, sorry. And painless. So we definitely don't want to call get enemy text again. But what if all of these were routines with return statements at the end? And then we just call all of them routines one by one in here. Or is that dumb? Here's the two ideas I'm juggling between in my mind. I either copy and paste that and just copy it down into that routine, or I turn this into a routine. And we're obviously going to have to do the same with all the others as well. And I'm leaning towards labeling it. I mean, I could write a generic routine that does that, and then you just load it with this and this. Because if you notice, we can actually work out these from that. We basically just have to add that to L on the next loop. I'm going to take the dummy approach. So I'm going to grab that return, put it here, and then label all of these. What's this one called? Fight. Stick with the bad name in UI text. Enemy HP. It's never painless. If I know people are watching it thinking just make a generic one, and I could easily do that. I could see a way to do it. but then you have to load it every time, and will it work in every single circumstance? You know, it could get messy, so I'm just going to do the way I've done it here now. Maybe at a later date we'll do like an optimization session where we try and make things more generic and reduce the code down a lot. It will use less space, probably be quicker, and it'll be more reusable, but not today. Okay, so now they're all routines. Okay, let's see if that even works. Wait, it seems alright. Yep, seems all good. Attack doesn't do anything yet, of course. I don't think I actually called that yet. Well, probably have actually, but it didn't do anything. And that was why I made. So we just changed the enemy HP there. Look. So of course exit fight isn't adequate there, but we'll know when we've killed the enemy. I didn't change turn or anything, so we should be able to just walk in there and keep pressing space till he's dead. Ah, he went up. I wonder if that's to do with holding space. Well, that still shouldn't have been able to happen. If it kept going down to... Ah, it's that A. That happens so often. You've got to make sure you don't put the A in the sub. I swear it just ignores the 10. Or it does something weird with it. Subs A 10 times or something. That's better. So of course you don't want to be able to just hold in space and multiple hit it. I mean, I wouldn't need to worry about holding space because I'm going to instantly set it to be the other guy's turn. But to avoid that nice and easily, let's just do space held. Space held, not S. Just return if it is. Perfect. Okay, so let's see if we set the NPC to have 30 or 29 health. We should have a problem now. Can't kill him. Ah, he still died. Interesting. Of course, it called kill enemy because it was under 11. So it actually works alright. For now that'll do. We just do 10 damage flat every time we press the attack button. We want to be able to skip it to his turn straight after that. That's here. We could use the XOR, couldn't we? Getting very long and messy, the code now. Yeah, down here. We want to change the turn. I mean, it's either 0 or 1. The the current turn. Maybe OR it. What happens if you OR it to itself? No. Hmm. Well, no, you do the opposite then on bitwise. To just literally set it to be the opposite. Hmm. Oh, hello. CPL inverts all bits of A. This would probably work then if I did this. Oh, it's just CPL. And then that. That seems odd, I've never used it like that, but I've just looked it up. It's probably a real cack-handed way again of doing that, but that inverts all the bits, and then I just make sure all the rest of them are 0. So it should just be either 0 or 1. Let's just try it. What we should find now is we can attack him, and then we can't do anything. And that's what's happened. Excellent. The only way to test that now is, I mean, as it happens, if we've attacked the enemy here, do you know what? We don't need to even do the inverting thing. We can just set it to be his turn. And then when he's had his turn, we'll just do the opposite of that, of course. Very much hard-coded, non-generic, specific stuff. This. Right, so there we go. It's his turn. So what happens when it's his turn? This is the crucial. This is what I'm kind of afraid of almost. I mean, it's nothing to be afraid of, but let's get rid of that. It's just in the way. I think when it's the enemy's turn. Okay, Micro. It'd be nice to be able to see what the enemy's doing, wouldn't it? I'm just trying to picture it from a player's perspective here. You go in, you find, this is your big boss. It'll obviously be more impressive graphics. One of your big bosses is, and you've pressed attack, and it's done some damage. What would you expect to see? You'd expect it to, like the cursor would vanish, perhaps. It would say what the enemy's doing. I think we could change the cursor. So instead of removing it, we'll just change it to like a skull or something. And it'll be him controlling it. So he could run, or he could attack, or he could use an item. We'll be able to reuse what we've already done partially then. I'd love to be able to just change the font colour when he's fighting, but I don't really want to have to load a different font in or anything. But we might be able to just change the palette of the font. That would be ideal. That would. And the position could move, couldn't it? We've got the offset already. Let's do that straight away. That's a brilliant thing to check, just to change the turn. So we've got UI fight buttons, X and Y. They're the ones we want to move. Why not make it nice and obvious, isn't it? Zero might be okay. Well, it will be. Somewhere we have drawing the buttons. Here it is. So let's make a routine out of this as well. Yeah, and the selector. Damn, the selector code's gonna break. I've just realised that. Let's separate the selector. Whoa, thank you for the bits, Moz. Oh man, yeah, that's not much sleep time left. Have a good night, what's left of it. See you again soon, man. Yeah, I'm going to make 2 routines, one for drawing the buttons and one separate one for the selector. What do we call these? UI texts. UI draw button. Cool, it's very long and messy, I don't like it. Right. More toast procured. I'm basically moving the button drawing code into a routine now, so that when it becomes the enemy's turn, it's going to move the buttons over to his side of the screen, and he's going to use the buttons, artificially. Okay, so draw selector. Where is that? Do you know what? I can stay there, but I'll put player turn. Okay, as always, there's easily ways to not have a hard-coded routine for both sides, but what the heck, more simple doing this. So I'd need a copy of that basically with the new values. Yeah, I'm still not trying to write slick code, just working code. I'm happy with at the moment. It's as simple as that, really. Like I say, one day we'll go through these bit by bit and make them into a nice generic, usable, reusable bunch of routines. Pick the bones out of it, get the good bits. To be fair, that doesn't care as long as that position is set correct. So we're going to need to make sure somehow that I don't see it even used. It's strange. Selector X. Oh, that's a shame. It's more problematic than I'd have hoped, because the way I've moved it, this is actually specific to what side it's on. That's okay. What I'm going to do to work around that will be probably tomorrow, but this is only when the player moves it anyway. It doesn't get called ever when it's the enemy's turn. I don't actually need to worry about that particular bit. And even the selector, we don't necessarily need it. We can just handle it completely differently because it's all part of the AI, that really. Draw selector. I mean, I'll leave it there. It might work until we try and move it with the keyboard. But so I've achieved that, and I've drawn. So it should be exactly how we left it now, with the added bonus that when it's the player's turn, when it's the enemy's turn, where's it gone? Yeah, I should probably have one saying set enemy's turn. Another routine. Oh no, I don't want that. When we set the turn, we also want to call draw buttons. Enemy turn. Now, would you like some toast, Dave? Chili and toast sounds nice. French toast? Melbourne toast. More toast procure. Like, I've just remembered, not remembered, I've just realised that this is going to draw the enemies ones, but the other ones won't be deleted. Now, I could just clear the screen, but I'm actually thinking now, maybe we, oh, that's a good idea. Perhaps I could, yeah, no, what I need to do is, I need to create a different update loop, init loop here. That's what I could have done, and just depending on what turn we are, it calls the right one. And then just call that, clear the screen, call that every time. But for now, I'm going to just hack it in, which I've just done. So we should hopefully at least see that it's his turn, but our buttons will still be left there, which is annoying. Ah, oh, that was weird. That was strange. Oh, I didn't call the enemy's turn pick. Idiot. Oi, there we go. So what I'd hope to do is change the palette so it's like a slightly different colour, like maybe reddish. And of course make ours disappear. But I'm not going to go through the hassle of writing clear each one of those fonts. I'm going to clear the entire screen. But to do that, I am going to have to rewrite some of this code that I've just written. It can be more simple. What I'm probably going to do is basically in init, it will work out what turn it is. Draw all this, but not call wherever it is get text. We do not want that to happen again during a fight. So I think I'm probably going to leave it there in a sec. You know, other than say thank you again for being here as always. Keeps me going. Having you guys chat is amazing. I don't always get to respond to every comment, of course, but I do really enjoy all the comments. Tomorrow we're going to do a lot. I've got a day off. Before I come online, I'm going to do what I just said about that little rework of how this is drawn, so that I can clear the screen and draw it all in one with whichever turn. Cheers, dude. Yeah, and then the very next thing I'm going to do, which is going to be hopefully really fun, is the inventory. We'll have another button. You press I when you're in the level, you know, in the tile map. Sausages are done. Nice. Yeah, do you know, I was just about to say about the sprites. I'm just about to say, got the day off, so we're going to do inventory. So I'm going to draw some little icons, the banana, the orange, a few other little things. And an inventory box, you know, a border to go around each item. So there's going to be some fun there to be had. And by the time I finish that, it will look like quite a nice game. You'll be able to go into inventory, browse around. Of course, I'll have to make the world as well, so you can pick up the items. It could all happen in tomorrow or the next day if I manage to, you know, if I manage to not be stupid. Nice one, Micro. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. I mean, I can't always promise, but I probably will do a daytime stream. But you know, don't worry about if you miss it, because it won't be nothing too special, and it'll probably only be an hour or two, and then I'll be on in the evening. Nice one, Specky Nut. I love that emote. We'll get more emotes one day soon. Definitely. Yeah, nice to have you all with us, you all with me, guys. I hope you're here tomorrow, but obviously don't worry if not. I'll certainly be here. Until then, look after yourselves. Take it easy. Do some coding. Let me know how it goes. I'll see you soon. Good night.